Welcome, everyone. I am Leroy Truth Investigations, and welcome for joining me. And if you can hear me and see me well, please put a 1 in the comments. If you can hear me and see me well, please put a 1 in the comments there. And I'm so happy that you have joined me tonight. And this is the first in a weekly series of live call-in shows. And I am super excited about this. Numerous people have asked me to do this. And it gives a chance for you to interact with me, with each other. And thank you for all the ones in there. And there's a bit of a delay from when I'm speaking to when you're all hearing this in YouTube here. So anyway, glad you're here. And this show has a number of parts to it. And the first is I'm going to show you an unfortunately really disturbing video of police and what they do to an autistic 16-year-old who was in a meltdown phase was really, really terrible. And as you know, so many times people call the police when there is a mental health breakdown, either a general person or mentally challenged person or an autistic person. And the last thing that you want to do when you have someone in mental health crisis is call the police, because to a cop, they're a hammer and everything is a nail. And when you have someone who's out of their mind, they are not in their right mind. In this case, it's a 16-year-old teenage boy. And he was actually hitting his father in a parking lot, and he's not doing any damage. He's like kind of slapping him on the head. And I'm going to show you this in a minute. And there's no damage being done, but someone called the police, and it ended up in this 16-year-old boy being unalived. And this just came across my desk today. This happened about 4 years ago, but just today it was announced it was a settlement, which of course will not bring this young boy back. And from everything I've read and saw about this young man, when he wasn't in a triggered autistic meltdown state, he was amazing. And so, and by the way, I saw here, I'm not listening to stories when you said it was a live call-in show. Well, it will be. Have patience, Grasshopper. And there's 2 parts. I'm going to show you a video, and then I want you to call in and comment on the video, as well as comment on police reform in general, how we will create police reform. And I say hello to everyone. Kiwi and Dub and John DeNicola, Ms. Rummy, Easy Cameras. We've got to talk. And got your number the other day. Matthew the King, Cop Crimes, Douglas Fox. I so appreciate you. And if you could share this with everyone, put it on Facebook, share. Let's get as many people here as we can for my first show. Chris, great to see you. Badisa. And so I want you to be ready. I'm going to be giving my numbers out in a minute, but I want you to watch this video first. And then I want you to comment on it. And it's a short video. This is a news report, maybe a minute or so. So check this out, and I'll be back.
In the custody of the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office. An eyewitness shot cell phone video showing the teen struggling in a parking lot of a Metairie strip mall. Paul Murphy reports a friend tells us the teen was severely autistic.
Crew members at the laser tag in Metairie are working with heavy hearts. Sunday, a 16-year-old customer died in their parking lot after a violent encounter with Jefferson Parish Sheriff's deputies. A video recorded by an eyewitness appears to show the moments before the boy died while in custody. Deputies were responding to reports that the teen attacked his father outside the business. A family friend told WWL-TV the boy's parents and bystanders were screaming at officers, telling them the teenager was severely autistic. Laser Tag General Manager Ricky Dillard declined an on-camera interview, but he confirmed the teenager had special needs. He was a longtime guest, and a lot of our crew members have personal relationships with him and his family, Dillard said. It's not easy. I wish we could give the parents a big hug. Dillard admits he and his staff are having a tough time dealing with the tragedy. They were our #1 customers, Dillard said. He loved being in our facility. He loved the bumper cars and bowling alley. We all made a point of communicating with him because he was learning from this experience. The sheriff's office said the teen remained violent and bit the deputy who was trying to take him into custody. JPSO spokesman Captain Jason Rivard said the suspect suffered an apparent medical emergency during the arrest and became unresponsive. Paramedics took the teen to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The Jefferson Parish Coroner's Office is expected to conduct an autopsy Tuesday to determine the teen's official cause of death. The boy's father has reportedly hired an attorney and private pathologist. Paul Murphy, Eyewitness News.
The JPSC
Right.
declined our request to be interviewed pending the results of that autopsy.
So there you have it. And was it an accident? What was it? And Lenny, hello there. And Terry Max and Eric Williams. And you say he was unalived. And I use that term because of this platform we're on. They like to censor a lot. And so here's the call-in numbers now. And it's our first time doing this. We got some logistic and technical things to work out here. And we have two phone lines open. And I have Scalzo Photo with me, who he is awesome. He does some editing for me. He also does some editing for Long Island Audit for Sean as well. And so he's helping me out. And it's the first show here. So I want you to know, what do you think about this? What are your thoughts? I want you to be able to interact more than just comment. And then I also have an announcement of an offline opportunity for everyone to be part of to change police as we know it. And so we have some calls coming in. Yeah, let's take it. Yep. Yeah. All right. And we have here first call with the talk show host here, Josh AFA, Accountability for All. Hello, Josh. You're on the air.
Is this Howard Stern, longtime listener, first-time caller?
Almost better than Howard Stern, hopefully. Hey, so what are your thoughts, Mr. Accountability for All, on this?
Well, I really wanted to be your first.
Well, yeah, you are. Absolutely. And so now that you have this opportunity that you are the first, what wise words of wisdom will you share here?
That video, I've seen that video. That's, I mean, to say tragic is it's just so blasé, right? Because it was completely unavoidable. But this is the mistake that we make when we give idiots the ability to terminate your constitutional rights and just beat you up without consequence. Like, even the most vulnerable members of our society are subject to being beaten, tased, cuffed, and arrested. I mean, it's a bad place in America when we see 4-year-olds getting cuffed and tased, let alone autistic people. So I would say it's tragic. It's not. It's just so expected, but you're wired, other than to be a sadistic asshole when becoming a cop. But I just wanted to say thank you for doing the show. We love you so much, long time. This is great. I think doing something like this is awesome. And I'm going to be watching you from the basement. I just wanted to be your first and bring about these people.
Well, you were Mr. Accountability for All, and we'll see you this Thursday as we go out to do some auditing for the first time in many months since you've been married. So, all right, Josh.
Auditing is going to be way better than Bumble messaging as well.
Goodbye there. All right. Excellent. So, Accountability for All, first caller in. And if you're not subscribed to him, subscribe to Accountability for All. And phone lines are open. And someone asked where the numbers are. The numbers are there scrolling on the bottom, 305-707-8325 or 401-787-1448. And what are your thoughts, again, on this? And what could have been done differently, if anything? And what are your thoughts about police being called when someone is undergoing a mental health crisis? Yeah, just answer him. Yeah. Okay, call back. Someone, just swipe up. Here we go. Scouts help with the phones. And I actually have an online system, but we were missing one thing that didn't work today, or we didn't have it, so we're using the phones on the mic. But next show, we'll have everything together. Yep, here we go, John. All right. And next caller, John Denicola, you are on the air. Hello there. Good to connect again.
Hey, Leroy, how you doing?
Doing awesome. All right. So what are your thoughts, John?
It's tragic and it's criminal, to be honest with you. I have a grandson who is autistic and nonverbal, and when different things do different things with autistic children, there's certain things that kind of trigger them, and you have to kind of be somewhat knowledgeable with kids with this type of disability. And unfortunately, the police aren't trained for that. So when you have a gentleman like that who has that power and they don't understand what they're getting into with an autistic child, it's egregious. Again, this brings up a few different issues. One is, where are the mental health professionals that are supposed to be working with the police departments? Where are these people? Because we're paying for them. Where the hell are they? And why aren't they with these people? You know. And the other issue it brings up is, why isn't this guy being charged criminally? 16-year-old autistic boy. I'm sorry, but I don't think there's anybody in the world that would argue the point that this isn't a criminal issue.
Right. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And one of the things that no other job, John and ladies and gentlemen, can you do a criminal act and get away with it unless you're a cop. And it blows me away that if you or I did this, if we worked, just say in a Subway sandwich place or Starbucks, and we unalive someone, maybe there was a crisis going on with someone, and we got in there and we unalived them because we didn't know how to handle it properly. And I'm not talking about someone who's threatening the lives of others. That's a whole different story. I'm the first there. Second Amendment. You're saving your friends, your life, your family, people in the community. This person, he wasn't doing any harm. And even the news report, John, it skewed it toward the cops, supporting the cops more. That he was being violent. Well, how violent? He's bopping with his hand on the father's head, and they weren't running away. They weren't injured.
Well, that kind of brings up another issue then, Leroy. I mean, realistically, think about it. These are the same news agencies that are controlled by the police departments, and if they're not controlled, they're at least pushed in a general direction to go with a narrative that they're looking to push. I mean, how many times have we seen that before, where a news agency will come out and they'll be talking smack about somebody that's been unalived by the police department, only to have egg on their face because what we've seen and the narrative that they were pushing is 150% wrong. And then we never see a retraction. We never see them backtrack and say, you know what, we were wrong. This was this. It shouldn't have been that way. We're sorry. We made a mistake. We were in a rush to put this out there. It doesn't happen. And that's what I think separates us from the mainstream media.
Yeah, you're right on. And the thing is, we'll always admit, none of us are perfect, myself included. If I make a mistake, and someone says, hey, Leroy, you got it wrong, or you could do better, or you could do it better, I'm open. We are all works in progress. But the police, they are trained to never say they're sorry and to never say they're wrong. And there is nothing more sociopathic or psychopathic than that. Because when people have been given the support and authorization of the state to use any use of force against the public up until and including unaliving us, even for not complying with unlawful orders. And then they also are trained never to say they were wrong. There's no fixing that system. That's why we have to do an entire reboot. And so, John, well, thanks so much. Let me get some other. Can you just answer
Thank
that,
you.
Scales?
And Leroy, good luck.
Yeah,
I'll talk to you, brother.
Thank you so much, John. And we got to talk. I know you had something for me as well.
All right, bro.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Tell people to only call when you're done with the call. Otherwise, they'll.
Yeah. And we only have 2 lines today. So if you can call once I'm done with the call, then that would be helpful. And if you don't get through, just try back. Again, I'm going to get through as many people as I can. We're going to go here up until 9 a.m. Eastern time tonight. 9 p.m. Eastern time tonight. All right. Hello, caller. I'm Leroy. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Would that be me?
That would be you.
Oh, hey, this is Rami.
Rami, hello there. It's so good to connect. Again, so many of the people here, I see their names. I haven't talked with many, and it's great to have some interaction here. So, hey, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
Well, first off, I apologize because I joined a little late and I missed the video. I could just hover over it and the timeline and see what it was. But once you've seen a police brutality, terroristic mugging, you've seen pretty much most of them. It's unbelievable. We have a flawed system. Any system that allows innocent people to be harmed and wronged in the name of safety is a flawed system. Now, the problem is in America, there's way too many bootlickers that support this stuff. There are people that will watch police brutalize innocent people and applaud it and say, well, yeah, they're just doing their job. And we can't change that till we change the thinking of the American people. That's a big task. I have been supporting auditors for many years. I'm not an auditor. I'm an auditor wannabe, but I have been backing up auditors on the phone for many years. I have talked to all ranks of law enforcement across America. I have talked to governments across America that will get on the phone. The hardest person to get on the phone in America is a mayor. But I support you totally, Leroy. And actually, I saved your reforms. Number one, end qualified immunity. Number two, end internal investigations. Number three, felony to mute the body cam. Number four, a 24-hour release of the body cam footage. And number five, all chiefs and supervisors held responsible for crimes of all police officers and deputies. And I promote that a lot because that would be a great way to start this, is if we could get that reform. And again, it's a tough one because America's a nation of bootlickers.
You're right on, Rami. And thank you so much for your support. And I want to celebrate you, Rami, as well as everyone else here. Just because you, Rami, or anyone doesn't have an auditing channel, it's all good, because the true work happens through the calls and the emails and the reviews and the comments and the posts on social media. And I have an announcement that some of you know about because I've included this in some of my videos. But Rami, I want you to be a huge part of this. Is so many people have been emailing me. I get so many emails every single day. And they say that we have been watching videos from everyone, from Accountability for All, Here's the Deal, James Freeman, Lackluster, Good Guy Activism, Eli, Denver Metro Audits. I mean, I can go on and on. M Against the Press. Yeah. And for the last number of years, and I was watching them for 10 years before I started my online activism, but very little has changed. And there are pockets of change with individual police departments, but systemically, nothing's changed, because it requires more than just the video awareness. Because these videos that we do on all social media platforms are crucial and critical, because they show the awareness and that these are not outliers. Can you close the door, Scalzo? These are not outliers. There's not a few bad apples. The entire tree is rotten. And so what my plan is I've started the Army of Freedom, and there's going to be different levels to be part of the Army of Freedom. And if someone can afford that, we'll work with everybody. We want everyone to be a part of this. But the official membership start at only $1 a month. And then there's $5, $10, $25, and $50 memberships that will help with all the costs of doing this, the website and everything beneath it. So it's called the Army of Freedom. And if you go to the armyoffreedom.com, you can sign up for free right now. I don't have the $1, $5, $10 there, but go there and sign up. And I will be sending an email out twice a week, or actually once a week. I'm going to do this. I'm going to start once a week, and it will have 2 politicians with their pictures, their phone numbers, and their email addresses, and a copy and paste email that you can choose to just copy and paste, make it super simple, or make up your own, whatever you like. I just want to make it easy, as well as bullet points of what the specific police reform demands are. Because as Martin Luther King said, the problem is not that we are outnumbered. The problem is that we are outorganized. And the Army of Freedom, to be a soldier in the Army of Freedom, we are organizing. So instead of a politician getting 5, 10, 15, 20 calls, which they completely ignore, that they're getting hundreds and thousands. And as we build this bigger, tens of thousands, just 2 politicians a week that we focus on with specific demands. And I'll have bullet points of what the focus is. And that will bring them to heel, because they do whatever they want. You all know this. They want to give money to Ukraine. They want to give money to excuse me, anywhere, Iraq, Iran, billions of dollars. They didn't ask you. They didn't ask me. There are so many homeless veterans, for example. These men and women, they're willing to die for our country. Yet they are all over the country, so many homeless, so many who have PTSD. Just for one example, they should get personally anything they want for the rest of their lives. Home, job, monies for any necessities, great medical care, etc. And it doesn't happen because the politicians really don't care. So alone we fall. United, we will absolutely not just get their attention. We will make them do the things that will make sure that we are free people, that we create actual police reform. And if they don't do what we want, ladies and gentlemen, combined, we have probably 20 to 30 million people that watch all of the videos from all of the First Amendment activists and police reform activists and freedom activists. That's the biggest political action committee in the country. But we've been untapped because we haven't been organized. So I'm organizing this as we speak, and again, I have the beginnings of the website. There is.
Do we have? I'm sorry to interrupt real quick. Do we have the website in the chat? Because I'm trying to find it.
No, but it's called thearmyoffreedom.com. If someone could put it in the chat
I went there and I searched for that. I got Liberty of Freedom. I can't get the Army of Freedom.
All right, did you put the? And if someone else could test it out, thearmyoffreedom.com. But if it's not working, I'll get it fixed. And Liberty Calls, by the way, you said politicians don't care about anything that doesn't bring in campaign money or political capital. Exactly. But we're going to have leverage, because when you have thousands of people demanding the politician do the right thing, or else is there's never violence, it's always peaceful. The or else is we will run candidates or support candidates who support actual police reform. And we're organizing. And there are so many of us, tell me, Rami, if this is you, then I'll let you go with someone else on here. But we watch these videos. And I was watching them for 10 years before I started my channel. And Accountability for All actually is the one who inspired me to start mine. And,
of course.
and we get angry. Hugely angry. We leave comments. And it's important because that helps the algorithms and we get to know what you feel. But that in and of itself doesn't change the big picture. So together, we're organizing through the armyoffreedom.com. And every week you're going to get an email that will give you a call to action. And that's where the major work is going to come from. Each of you and each of your friends and family that you share for them to do that. So Rami.
Well, I have posted the link because I found it now. I didn't have the in there. So the link, I've posted it 2 or 3 times. I encourage everybody to go there. I'm there right now and I will join this. I think it's a really valuable effort, because if we do not organize, then we can't get traction. And this is a brilliant idea.
Right. You're absolutely right about what we got to do. And thank you for your support. And stay tuned. You'll be on the email list, Rami. And hopefully everyone here joins it tonight.
I hope, yes. Everybody join it. We have to come together. And let's support Leroy, because he's got a magnificent thing going on here. So we can come together and we can make a difference.
Thank you so much, Rami.
Thanks, Rami. Leroy, thank you for everything.
My pleasure. All right. God bless you, my friend. All right. All right. We have with us now Ruth on the phone. And before that, though, make sure to smash the like button. Please share this. This is my first call in, and let's get more people on it for this one. And we'll give more time so we get a lot more people on it. If you've got any YouTube channels, any of the other auditors, if you could share this on your community page with your peeps, that would be awesome. And let's keep building this up. And so, Ruth, is this your name, Ruth?
No, I'm Sarah.
Sarah, it says Ruth on the caller ID for some reason.
Right on.
All right. Anyway, Sarah, welcome. Where are you calling from, and what would you like to share?
I'm calling from Indiana, and I just want to say, man, you honestly give me faith in humanity, which I didn't have before.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for that.
I mean, yeah, it's, so personally, I have lupus, and I'm allergic to the sun, and I feel like you guys are out there for me sometimes. Especially, your other caller mentioned that he can't go out. We don't all have that ability, but we do have the ability to support and come together. And I love what you're doing.
I so appreciate that, Sarah. And the thing is, again, in unity, we can make things happen. But the government loves social media, by the way, Sarah. Tell me if you agree or disagree with this. Because when
Absolutely.
when social media started, why they love it so much is because people are pacified by screaming on social media through comments only. And they think they're doing something to actually change and leverage the people in government when they're not. And I'm not saying that's not important. It is, but it's part one of the coin. We need that actual activism. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Absolutely agree. I also think we're having some sort of lack in critical thinking at this point. With, I don't know, everyone, some people, don't just take orders. That's how the Nazis were created. Like, what are we doing?
Right.
You have to think for yourself. You have to come up with your own morality and your own beliefs and follow the law and our freedoms. And I think we've lost something in the mix.
Here we have, because people have allowed themselves to be placated. The government indoctrination system, as Brian from Here's the Deal calls it, the 15,000-hour government indoctrination system, it programs people not to be critical thinkers, but to be compliant, to believe there's something called authority. I know there ain't no authority other than me in my life. Sarah, there ain't no other authority other than you in your life. And I'm not listening to some cop or some politician who says I got to give up my rights for this or that, whatever it is. I'm going to be a critical thinker. And if something is against your freedom, Sarah, your family's freedom, mine, then I'm going to stand up and say this is not right, and I'm going to change it. And one other thing, Sarah, before I let you go, is something I told my son when he was growing up, is you don't have to take a stand against everything, but take a stand for something. And don't assume there's those other people, there's those activist type people that they're going to take care of it. I know it's not good. I mean, I don't like that we're losing our freedoms, but someone else is going to take care of it. Well, that's what government loves. Someone else is going to do it.
Think somebody else is going to do it.
No.
That's terrible. That's how we got in this situation.
Right. Yep. You're absolutely right. That's exactly how we got in this situation. And so, Sarah, thank you so much. And if you haven't, please join the armyoffreedom.com. And we're going to start maybe there's going to be 50 or 100 calls and emails. The first one comes out, but within a month or less, the politicians are going to say, whoa, something's going on here. We don't get these many focused laser calls from people. And so they're just used to no one demanding anything, or a few people. Hey, we're yelling at Schumer, yelling at Tim Scott, whoever. And this is nothing to do with party. I am not Republican. I am not Democrat. They're all full of shit. And this transcends
Absolutely
party.
True.
So
they're all full of shit. And I think you're completely right. As if we could maybe organize and be together, at least in our freedoms, and respect each other in that. I think focusing on that would be more beneficial. And I think you're absolutely right. And I love what you're doing and I appreciate it. I will absolutely join the Army of Freedom.
Amen. Excellent. We're going to do these every week, Sarah. So stay tuned and we're going to keep this rolling. We're just getting started. So thanks so much for your call. I appreciate you.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
Bye. All right, I want to thank Scalzo again for his help, and please smash that like button, and let's get even some more people on. And I so appreciate each of you for taking the time to be with me tonight. We're going to go to 9:00 tonight Eastern. And what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Russ.
Yes. What would you like to talk about?
Just the systemic problem with policing in America.
Oh, can you lower the volume on your computer, or because I hear the feedback in the background?
Sorry about that.
It's all good.
So these people are either elected or hired by an elected official to protect and preserve our rights, but yet they, under the color of law, oppress us.
Right. And why do you think? How did that happen?
Well, I've had my own instances where they have violated my rights to enforce what they think is a lawful thing to do towards another person.
Which was what? Give me the short version, Cliff Note version of the story.
If you would like to, you can look up my YouTube channel. It's Grumpy G's Arena, and the whole audio recording is on there.
Right, excellent. If you can put that in the comment after our call is done, and I encourage everyone, join anyone who has a YouTube channel. I don't care if you have 0 subscribers or 1 million. Please support them. And can you give your YouTube channel again? If someone can find it and put it in the comments as well.
It's Grumpy G's Arena.
Right. Excellent. All right, Grumpy G's Arena. All right, and so we can find the video on there. And anything else before
It is an audio recording of a situation that happened to me in 2020.
All right. I'll be listening to that as well. All right. Well, thank you so much for calling. I look forward to checking out your channel and subscribing to your channel, and continuing. We the people are going to make America free again here.
Thank you for all you do, bro.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you. All right.
God bless.
You too. Bye. All right, I'm going to take a look at some comments before we get started. And is this Greg Davis here?
Yes.
All right, so I'm just take a look at some comments before we get started, Greg. And again, smash that like button, and also share this with anyone you got. No, it doesn't work, Scalzo. Oh, there we go. I guess it did work there. All right, and Kentucky Girl 2, so happy you're here. Johnny Cash, Barbara Rogers, and Lenny, you're always awesome, always sharing. And all right, Greg, where are you calling from? And welcome to Leroy Truth Investigations call-in show here. And what would you like to share?
So I'm calling from Connecticut, the New England area, and I just wanted to say thank you for all the activism and things that you've done in Connecticut. You and all the other different First Amendment auditors and investigative journalists that actually go out there and hold these people accountable.
I appreciate that, and it's such an inspiration to hear from yourself, Greg, and Sarah, and Rami, and John, and the other people, to be able to interact with you all, because you see our videos and it's a one-way street. But I want your ideas, and it's a two-way street, the Army of Freedom, because I've got X amount of ideas, but no one is smarter than all of us together. So, and also someone could put my email in there as well. It's LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. Put it in the comments. And LeroyTruth247@gmail.com. And that'd be super helpful. And email me with your ideas, and also who we want to focus as our different politicians. And for those, Greg, and everyone else who say, you know what, it's just a wasted time to contact the politicians, I will vociferously disagree, because there's one or two things that are going to change things. Either say, we're not talking our government, but say in history, when people have overthrown a government, that changes things. I'm not saying we should do that by any means. Or you work with what the government is and you change it. And because otherwise, when people say, well, it's a waste of time, Greg, what's the alternative? If we don't call and email politicians, how are we going to get change?
If they didn't want us to actually redress our grievances, our founding fathers, they wouldn't have gave us that right to do it. They understood what tyranny was when they lived under King George, and they never wanted us as people to live under a tyrannical boot. They wanted us to be able to redress those grievances, let people know that the things that they're doing is not what we put them in place to do.
Right. Absolutely. Because what happens is elected officials, Greg, they get elected and then they do whatever the hell they want. They don't represent us. They will tolerate listening to us. And many times, as many of you who see my Cold Spring videos, they don't tolerate what we have to say. Where I was thrown out hands-on by a police officer at the village of Cold Spring, which I have a number of videos on that on my channel. And please subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, Leroy Truth Investigations. And I was thrown out for giving truth about a brutal police officer in this particular village of Cold Spring, New York. That's not redressing the government and being respected for what we have a right to do. And that's tyranny. That's dictatorship. That's fascism. That's authoritarianism. That is not freedom. That is not a representative republic or a democracy. So any parting words, Greg, before you go?
Just keep up the good work and be safe out there. Knowledge is power, and the more you know, the better you'll be.
Absolutely. And if you don't know your rights, Greg and everyone, you don't have rights. And if you don't exercise your rights, you don't have rights.
Rights are like muscles. You don't exercise them, they'll go away.
Absolutely. Amen. All right. God bless you. And great talking with you, Greg. All right. Welcome, everyone. Okay. We have another caller on the line. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, my name is Kane. I'm calling from New Jersey. Actually, I love your videos, Leroy, and I think it's honestly disgraceful what the mayor did to you when she threw you out of the town hall meeting there. You were honest. You were making great points. You probably had her on the ropes a little bit there, so maybe she felt, intimidated, perhaps. But overall, your questioning delivered to her, I think kept her probably a little bit out on end. But Leroy, you do a great job. I honestly found you through Accountability for All originally, and I've been watching a lot of your videos. Not all of them, admittedly. I wish I had more time to watch the audits, but the work you specifically do, I am a big fan of, and I support you 100%. You are the exact type of activist I strive to be, but unfortunately, a little bit of ways off from right now. But
hey,
God bless you, Leroy.
I appreciate you so much, and I appreciate your kind words, your support, and we all do our part. As long as we do our part, and we're all growing, myself included. So I really appreciate you, and join the Army of Freedom if you're not there yet. And we're gonna we will be in mainstream news shortly, as we are taking over mainstream news because we tell the freaking truth as opposed to mainstream news, which
You're
is
the only news I watch.
Right.
You're the other activist channels. I don't watch mainstream media. That's literally fake news.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if you love Trump or hate Trump. He's the one who said it. It's fake news. You're being fed propaganda.
Right.
Grow a brain, grow a cerebellum. Come on.
You're right. And before you go, and this is something I remember when Russia was the Soviet Union, and there was someone interviewed from the Soviet Union in regards to Pravda, which was the official propaganda newspaper. And this is what they said. Different than the United States, and this is going back 30 years ago, different than the United States, we know it's propaganda. However, we know with any propaganda, they have to have some truthful articles there. Otherwise, people will completely dismiss it. So we learned how to be critical thinkers, not because YouTube or Facebook or mainstream media censored us, but we learned to be critical thinkers so we can discern actual news with the fake news. And that was Soviet Union 30 years ago. But so many people, especially the bootlickers in America, they think that mainstream news is actual truth news. And nothing can be further from the truth. They are an arm of the government. But because most people are ignorant to that, they buy it. They buy the narrative. They buy that, oh, we're a free country. No, we're not. We play one on TV. And you know how a country is, they say we're free? Well, try not paying a $15 parking ticket. When I was in college, my first time arrested, I was 17 years old, went to school in Orlando, Florida. And I went to a bank and I parked my car. There was a meter there. I figured, okay, I'm 17. It'll only take an hour to open up a bank account, which was reasonable. However, for whatever reason, it took longer than an hour. I came back to a $15 ticket. That's 15. And I'm 17. What do I do with the ticket? I didn't say, oh, I got to pay this. I throw it in the back seat with, along with 15,000 soda cans and milk cartons and so forth. Now, a year later, I got stopped because I was in the middle of nowhere, and there was a stop sign, middle of nowhere, tiny little town, probably 100 people in this town. No lights, 2:00 in the morning. A car in front of me stops, but he stops past the line to stop, comes to a complete stop. I'm in back of him. I come to a complete stop, but I'm not quite all the way to the line. This is how I got started, by the way. At that point, I am 19 years old. And so I come to a complete stop. The car in front of me goes, I go. There are no cars coming within 15 miles. I go maybe 10, 15 yards, suddenly, sirens, lights, cop, hiding, pulls me over. I said, what did you pull me over for? He said, oh, I pulled you over because you didn't stop at the stop sign. I said, yes, I did. I said, well, the other car stopped, but he was partway through the line. I was almost to it. He said, oh, no. You had to stop at the line again. I said, it would have shown I had mental illness if I stopped again. It is insane. It was so ridiculous. He said, well, listen,
This is kind of a double jeopardy.
Yeah. So,
Leroy, your story right there parallels exactly this book that came out about 40 years ago. It's called Inside the Aquarium, Making of a Top Soviet Spy. And it goes into what it was like in the Soviet Union and essentially what it was like dealing with fake news and the sort of political climate, the cultural climate, and the informational climate that we have today, where the government thinks that they have not only the rights but the authority, the duty to police what information you as a citizen are allowed to obtain and integrate into your brain and into your thoughts and your decision making. It's kind of disgusting to think about, but this is literally exact parallel inside the aquarium. Making of a top Soviet spy.
It makes so much sense. And then finishing the story. So the cop says to me, hey, you don't seem like an axe murderer. So I'm going to go back. I'm going to run your license. If everything's good, I'll let you go. And so he goes. 10 minutes later, comes back. You're under arrest. What do you mean I'm under arrest? There's a warrant for your arrest. He didn't know why. He's just executing the warrant. Takes me to this little podunk, tiny little police station, handcuffs my left arm to the wooden chair, which I could have broken like this, but that would have been a whole other story if I escaped, and which I wasn't going to do.
Exactly. Don't do that.
And turns out that there was a warrant for my arrest because I didn't pay the $15 ticket. I had moved to 3 or 4 different places, never got the letters that I had a court date. So when I say to people, you think you're free in the United States of America, try not paying a $15 freaking parking ticket. We're not free. So that's, just wanted to share that. So thank you so much for your call and for your support. And please join the Army of Freedom if you haven't so far. And keep watching, and a lot more to come.
Thank you, Leroy. God bless.
God bless you as well. Thank you. All right, everyone. So smash that like button. And I'm going to see how many more callers I can get. I'm going to have some shorter calls, see how many more people we can get in. And if you don't get through, we only have 2 lines today. Call again. And here we go. We have our next caller here. If you can put on a speakerphone so it's ready to go. Right. And I want to thank Scalzo again. Scalzo Photo. Make sure to join Scalzo Photo, his YouTube channel as well. There's a lot of great editing and a lot of great ideas and support work he gives for me and for Long Island Audit. All right. So who is on the call here? You're here with Leroy Truth Investigations. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, Leroy, it's also 420.
Also, it is a pleasure. This is so great to put a voice to all the comments. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, bro, that's why I like the call-in format. I saw you on Catherine's, the civil rights attorney's call-in, and, I gave you a shout-out there. So I was really excited to catch this pop up on my notification. Props to you, Leroy.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, this is an important format because you can be heard, your ideas and will be received, and this is awesome. So, what would you like to share today?
Well, yeah, and I haven't really seen anyone else do it. So again, kudos to you. I think more people will adopt this in addition to the rest of the tool bag, that YouTube can offer, because this call-in format is powerful. Basically, I wanted to call simply to give you support and, tell you how much I appreciate you, the AFA and AA family. It really means a lot to me. I have found I have found a family. You know, I got falsely arrested. I've been filming the police for decades. I've been a videographer my whole life. And I moved from LA to Northern California. And it's completely rogue cops out here. And I filmed them raiding my neighbors when I first moved here. And they put a target on my back from the get-go, you know? So, and they still refuse body cams, but I'm still fighting a good fight. And I'll be, you know, posting content under a different channel name eventually. But one thing you were talking about is press freedom. So I'm actually doing a documentary about 1967, a day that the LAPD tried to club me in my baby carriage because my mom had the audacity to take me to an anti-war demonstration. And the LAPD let loose and started beating the crap out of everybody with billy clubs. And there was a picture published of me in the baby carriage with the cops trying to club me and my mom defending me. So I've done over 100 interviews on that, including police chiefs, senators, congressmen, celebrities, et cetera, et cetera. So that'll be forthcoming. But United States is 47th in press freedom. We've gone down from 42 to, I think, 47. Maybe I'm a couple numbers off. I think that says it all, you know?
Yep.
So real journalism, you know, when we knock the press, I hope that we're able to differentiate the true journalists that are getting murdered every single day around the world. And they are my heroes. And they're exposing the scum around the world and in Mexico, all around the world. And they're my heroes. And there's still a few investigative journalists left here. And that's what you guys are doing. So, you know, I just want everyone to remember that when we're slamming the media, let's remember there's a lot of people dying to bring us the truth, like Julian Assange and Edward Snowden, et cetera, et cetera. So,
yeah, right on. All right, I appreciate you're absolutely right about that. And look who is in jail or sequestered. Julian Assange, he attempts to bring the truth. He's just the messenger, just like me with Cold Spring and so many others. They attempt to vilify us. We're the messengers of truth. Julian Assange, Edward Snowden, and so many people, we don't know their names. They are dying because there are good journalists in this world. Many are dying or imprisoned to give the truth out to people. So you bring some great points up. I appreciate you, Oso. And I want to have you on a live stream as well and do a show on you and your story. So email me at Leroy Truth 24/7.
I got a lot of content. I got a lot of content and stuff to drop eventually, but I'd love to be on your live. And Leroy, I remember when you first stepped up for AFA when he was assaulted by that lady with that folder. I was watching that live, and I remember when you came in and you bring a whole, like, I just love the variety of auditors. And, you know, and I love and it's actually made me a better person because it's opened my mind up to other people that I might not have, like, hung out with or whatever. But now I'm a fan of their auditing because we all have unity in trying to find truth and hold our government officials accountable. So, like, I just love, you have such a unique style, bro. I just love it. So I'd be honored to be on your channel. Everybody in the chat, God bless you. I love you all. Leroy, bless you, bro. Good to meet you on the phone.
God bless you too, Oso. And email me at LeroyTruth247@gmail.com and with your contact info, and we'll connect offline.
We'll do it, bro. Have a good night.
You too. All right. And we're just going till 9 a.m., so 8 more minutes here. And one of the things that I wanted to share, which is super important, and we're going to take more callers. And hold on, caller. Just put you on hold here, and I'll be right with you. And one of the things, ladies and gentlemen, is people ask, and so many of the politicians, when they hear about First Amendment auditors, YouTubers, they call us to attempt to dismiss credibility. We're just doing this for clicks and views, they say. CNN, they're all commercial. Anyone has a right to have an exchange of income for work that they do, but they try to vilify us for it. But that's not the main reason we do it. Every single one of us, myself included, Leroy Truth Investigations, we were created by the system. The system created us. Police malfeasance, criminality, brutality, aggressiveness created us. And what was my tipping point story in my life is, and some of you know this, some of you do not, I was about 30 years ago, I was actually on a date. I'd taken my date to a movie, and we hung out at a park. It was a parking lot park nearby, and we're just making out a little bit, to be candid. Nothing other than that. We're fully clothed. However, and there's no signs that says no trespassing, no signs that says the park is closed. It's a parking lot right next to the main road. And suddenly, as we're sitting there, I hear bang, 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 bang on my driver's side window. Like, what the hell is this? It sounded like someone's going to break the window in. I turn to my left, and there's a police officer screaming, license and registration, license and registration. I roll the window down, screaming it's even louder now, license and registration, license and registration. I'm not going to give it to him unless he gives me a legal reason. I ask him why. License registration. I say why. License registration screams louder, goes back and forth a number of times and he won't tell me. Now, if he gave me a lawful reason, I would have given it to him. He didn't give me anything. What does he do? Does he have a conversation? No. He pulls his gun out of his holster, presses it hard, the cold barrel to the left temple of my forehead with his finger on the trigger. I'm 1/8 inch of a trigger pull from being murdered by a Walk Hill, New York police officer. What was my crime? Exercising my constitutional rights. At that point, he said, "You're under arrest," arrested me, arrested my date. She will never forget that date. And we're taken in handcuffs to the police station, let go on $20 bail. A month later, I didn't have any money at the time. Public defender, it was a slam dunk. He didn't have to do much. I'm not a fan of public defenders. But once he heard the story, the judge said, what are you guys doing here? Get out of here. And it was major police, over-aggressiveness, excessive use of force. I didn't know then what I know now. It's 30 years ago. I should have sued the hell out of them. But that's how they created me. What was my crime? I was just exercising my constitutional rights and wanted to die for them. So that's my origin story there. So let's take some more calls here. And
two callers on hold so you can figure it out. This is South Carolina.
all right, here we go. You're next up in the queue here after this one. All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what's your name and where are you calling from?
I'm Mark. I'm calling from South Carolina, Greenville.
All right. Welcome. Well, I'm glad you're here. What'd you like to share?
Well, I'd like to talk to Leroy about, these cops. When you file complaints against them, it don't go nowhere. You know why? Because they don't care. The higher ups don't care,
Right. Yep.
And I think the best thing to do is when you're out there recording them and everything is ask them, what does your family think about them, the way they break the law and everything, and do people wrong and all, embarrass them in front of their families, their friends and everything. Who cares about their higher ups? They don't do nothing no more, you know it?
Right. You're absolutely
That's
right.
my opinion, you know that?
Yeah. But you're right on.
I think the best thing you do is embarrass them on the internet about, what do you think your kids think about this, the way you conduct your business out here? What do you think about how you just, containing people illegally and everything? You're breaking the law yourself and everything. What do you think your family, your wife, your kids, your aunt, your uncles think about how dirty you are?
That's a very good point. Now, I'm not sure how many people it will work with as cops because most of them have lost their souls and are sociopaths. However,
Right.
that was still, I may utilize that sometime myself. Like, imagine Officer Smith. If your mother is seeing you right now, because your mother's going to see this video, I'm going to find her email address. I'm going to send it to her. Imagine your mother seeing this video now. Would you be proud?
Right.
Would she be proud of you?
No, exactly not.
So shaming them requires they have a soul. And
Yeah.
hey, this is another idea. I'm open to all ideas here.
But
And
the thing is, if you embarrass them and everything, and their friends at school and everything sees them too, because kids are our next generation, right?
right, absolutely. And we want to teach the kids because the
Do the
schools
right thing.
are teaching them to comply with so-called authority and to
Oh,
not be
Lord, it's
critical
terrible.
thinkers. So we got to save the next generation. The work we're doing, we're not just doing it for us. We're doing it for the young children. We're doing it for the teens, the 20-somethings,
Right.
and so forth, to educate them as to the truth and how to exercise the freedoms and to critically think.
Exactly. I got grandkids, right?
Wow.
And the thing is, I think that if you start embarrassing the police officers against their families instead of the higher ups don't give a crap, you know.
Right.
I mean, you can sit there and beat somebody up. You can sit there and kidnap people, throw them in a jail for no crime, but yet you got to go to court and everything and prove you wrong, you know.
Right. Yep. You're absolutely
And
right.
I think the best thing to do is start embarrassing them in front of their families, saying, "What do you think your family thinks about what you conduct yourself?" You sit here and swore an oath to the Constitution of the United States of America.
Right. Yep. But it means nothing to them because they are part of the thick blue line gang. And someone's
they nothing but the gang.
oh yeah, they are the gang. And someone's attempted to connect me with Serpico, Frank Serpico, so I can interview him because he was one of the original whistleblowers in NYPD corruption. So anyway, I really appreciate your call, and please join the Army of Freedom if you haven't so far, and stay tuned for lots more to come.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
Hey, you notice how when a cop comes up to talk to one person and everything, they always got to call backup. They always have their gang members. They have to have 4 or 5 guys against one guy. You know that?
Right. And that's why they always win through force, because they are law enforcers. They are not law communicators. And we really need law communicators, not law enforcers, because they enforce laws whether a law is broken or not. So.
Right. They're supposed to serve and protect, but all they do is hurt and screw everybody over, you know?
Yep. Absolutely. All right. Thanks so much for your call.
I watch you all the time, and I love your channel.
No, I appreciate that so much. Thank you.
You have a blessed night.
All right. You too. Bye. All right, we have time. She was on hold. And whoops, just dropped the phone here. And so we have time for 1 or 2 more callers, and we're going to wrap up. And here's the deal. I'm so happy you're here, Brian. And so time for, let's say 2 more callers here. All right. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, I'm on the line.
Yeah, you're on the line.
Okay, good. I'm Vaughn from Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right. Excellent. Welcome. What would you like to share?
Yes, sir. I really enjoy your videos, Leroy. You do an outstanding job. You're professional, and you don't take the bullcrap they throw at you. Now, I got a couple of questions for you. Have you ever thought about making a citizen's arrest? And then the second question is there a bunch of auditors planning to get together to help Sean Reyes up there with his ordeal up in New York? And I appreciate what you do, and God bless you.
God bless you. Thank you for your call. And I know that I've been in communication with Sean numerous times, and I'm going to continue to see how I can support him. And also any others, again, we're organizing here, thearmyofreedom.com, and you will get up-to-date information about what's happening with Sean as together, the activists, the other organizers, the freedom fighters who have YouTube channels, that we're looking to connect and focus our efforts. So, and citizens arrest, that's all part of the possibilities, but someone wrote, it's illegal for a citizen's arrest of an officer. And that's a good question. I don't know that. So if that's true, let me know if that's fact checked there. And because I'm learning every day myself. And also, someone said Brian was here, and Brian is one of my favorite channels. And he's the person I actually modeled mine on originally. Man of great integrity. And he is creating 3-4 videos a day. And it's good content. It's important content. It's never fluff. So if you're still here, Brian, I really appreciate you. And we'll take one last call and before we end for today. And we're going to do this again weekly. So stay tuned. I'm going to pick a day and time that this will be weekly. And this is my first one. So I'm going to keep the calls a little shorter going forward so we can get more people talking. And also email me at leroytruth247.com. Give me suggestions, ideas. How can I make this show better? What do you want to see from it? And so we can grow it. So we have 120, 121, 130 people today. We can get 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 beyond. That this could be bigger than CNN, Fox News, whatever. And because, it's we the people, you the people speaking out. What do you have, Scalzo, our last? Okay. All right. And welcome, caller. To Leroy Truth, you're the final call for today. What's your name and where are you calling from? And you only have to give your name if you want to, by the way. We respect the Fourth Amendment here on Leroy Truth Investigation Show.
Yeah.
All right, you're on.
Yeah, this is Lonzo from Washington State.
All right, hi, Lonzo. Welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. I watch you. I enjoy your show, and thank you for all that you do, Leroy. And you and all the First Amendment auditors. I've learned a lot about my rights as an American, but you know, I think that I'm pretty sure that the American government has been hijacked by a mafia gang, and the capital of that mafia gang is all the way on the other side of the world. I won't say the place where all the trouble's happening right now, but that's what's happened to our government, and these people that we call bootlickers, they're so brainwashed, and I'm glad that you've talked about educating the younger generations, Leroy, because it's critical that we do, because they're being indoctrinated with lies. But we need to somehow come together, because police, they're not honoring any oath. I don't even think they even give an oath to the people anymore. They give an oath to the corporations that give them the paychecks. And this is all about money. Police are looking, they want to give as many traffic citations as they can, DUIs. They want to handcuff you, throw you in their jails, take you to court, give the judge some business. It's all about money for the Department of Justice. And the police do not care as long as they get their paychecks. They're immoral people. And so we have to get the bootlickers to come with us, because we all have to come together as Americans to push the criminal mafia government into the ocean, because I don't know what else is going to stop this, because police don't care. They didn't do a paycheck. They'll get slaves like everyone. They want their paychecks. So that's what we have to do. So maybe this show is a great start for that, Leroy. We have to bring people together. The American people have to come together.
Absolutely.
I don't know how else we're going to defeat this.
Right. Because as I said before, as Martin Luther King said, is that the problem is not that we are outnumbered. The problem is that we are out-organized, and the armyofreedom.com is changing that, will change that. And I guarantee you, in 6 months' time, we will be mainstream topics, because we will be a force to be reckoned with, and we will make America free again. And so thank you for your call.
Amen, Leroy. I'm on your side. I'm going to sign up.
All right. Excellent. I appreciate that. All right. My pleasure. All right, everyone. And that brings to a conclusion our show today. And please email me and let me know what you liked, what you didn't. I'm just like Brian. Brian's always asking for unvarnished truth and feedback, because we all have blind spots. I want to get better. I want this to be the best show on YouTube, social media, that represents we the people, and that helps to bring about actual police reform and change. And it can't be done without you. Without you, I'm just a guy, talking on a video. It's you, my fellow activists, my fellow colleagues of freedom, that are going to change this for the better. Because alone we fall, united we absolutely will prevail. So I appreciate you. Email me, and thank you everyone who showed up. I was just looking at some of the comments here, and appreciate you so much. Stay tuned for more. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Like my videos, share my videos, and please smash the like button on here. And so appreciate all of you. See you next time.